think, as we all know, we were often told to be quiet about the truth of what was going on in our homes and in our lives around all kinds of abuse issues. And I hear that when we're speaking with seniors, especially those generations that were encouraged. So we really wanted to work to bring some of these stories forward. So we've been meeting since the fall of 2012 with folks who support seniors and also seniors too. And then we've taken the stories and made them very private, very confidential, no identifying information. And I've had the great privilege of working with Bev with 7 folks from Renfrew County. So it's just been really fabulous. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce the characters. Some of the folks are going to read kind of like monologues because they're channeling a story. They're not doing an acting job. Some of the cast have decided to tell the story without cards. But if you see us reading, it's because we're wanting to truly honor every individual story. So first off, I'm going to move this lectern just a tad so that everybody can get through. And I'm going to introduce you to Mary, who is 76 years old. She was raised in Beachburg, and she's living now in Pembroke with her son. And now I'm going to introduce you to Joy, who's 79. She's originally from Ottawa, and she and her partner are looking for a retirement residence in Renfrew County. Rose is 73, originally from Chute, living in Barry's Bay, and her 92-year-old mother is in Pembroke in a nursing home. Lois, who lives in her own home in Laurentian Valley Township, just outside Pembroke, is 81. Marcel, he lives in Pembroke in his own home, and he is also 81. Jean, who's originally from Eganville, now lives in Renfrew, and she comes to this quilting table every month. Tom, who's 74, is originally from Renfrew. He now lives in Cobden. And me, I'm the narrator, 60. Gonna be this summer, true. I always wanted to have a magic wand and be a fairy godmother, and my dreams came true, just like Debbie said. This gang comes together every month to quilt for other seniors, and they have been meeting for quite some time. Some of them are friends, and they're going to get to know each other a little bit better tonight.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Glad you're here. We missed you last time.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm late, but the lineup at Tim's was awful. Oh.
So true.
Where's Lois? Oh, there she is. Hiding under the quilt there. My goodness, she should be here by now, I thought. Anyway, nice to see you, Lois.
Lois, what happened to those? How come you got bruises? You got bruises on your hand?
Oh,
and bruises on your cheek?
Oh,
What happened?
and I tripped. I was carrying the laundry down to the basement, and I just tripped.
Oh.
No, that's not the truth. Well, see, my husband passed away last year. To tell you the truth, I'm kind of ashamed, but I was glad. I was glad that he died because he couldn't hit me anymore. Just because I didn't have the dinner ready on time, or the towels, you know, stacked up nice and neat. He just didn't think that I was even capable of looking after myself. So that's why he left our house to our son Bobby. Well, you know, at first I was kind of glad that Bobby moved in and took over because, well, I could I stay in my own home and I wouldn't wouldn't be alone anymore. But, well, I just found I still couldn't get the dinner ready on time, and my joints were so sore, and really especially my hips, and oh, you know, Bobby just was no help at all. He'd just say, when I'd ask him for a little help, you know, like when I needed help with my hair and my bath, he'd just say, "Oh, just take care of yourself, old lady." Well, you know, I know that he when he works too hard, you know, he comes home and he's exhausted, and that's when he loses his temper, and then he goes to try to make his own dinner, and he just shoves me out of the way. And this time, that's how I fell down the steps. Oh, I know that I could use, you know, some help, and I'm just thinking maybe that I could, you know, just call my doctor, and, well, I've heard, you know, that there's places where you can get help, and you know, maybe somebody could come in, but I just can't seem to do much by myself. You know, it's just, some things don't change. It's just pretty much the same now as it was before. And I don't know, I just think that, maybe I could call my doctor. Maybe he could get the ball, you know, rolling, and maybe I could find a new place to live. I just don't know. I just don't know what
Lois,
to do.
thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. It sure sounds like you're experiencing physical abuse from your son. That must be really hard to talk about. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of feeling like maybe a magic wand. We'd all might like to have one right about now. Lois, how can we, your quilters and friends in the audience, is there anything that we could do to be helpful?
Well, you know, I just don't know, you know, when it's your son and all, well, maybe if I could, you know, get someone maybe to go with me, or I'm just kind of, you know, pretty scared right now.
I think you're afraid that if you say something, it's going to get worse at home. Is that right?
Well, yeah.
One of the things, Lois, I don't know, we have over on the side, in Renfrew County, we have 3 services that people can call. It's a 1-800 number. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to tell your own phone number. And you can call anonymously, and they don't tell anyone. And sometimes they just give ideas, or they listen to you to help you better understand what you might like to do, because it sounds kind of complicated.
Well, maybe one of the girls, you know, and maybe girls could, you know, come over, and maybe we'd call, and I'd feel a little bit better, maybe. I think maybe.
Yeah, just, anytime.
Yeah, well, I'll try. I'll try that.
Thank you for sharing, Lois. Thank you.
I'm such a klutz. I have bruises all over too, but it's because I bump into things and I don't even remember what I bumped into. Sometimes I think I look like I've just stepped out of a boxing ring.
Or a tattoo parlor. Say, Marcel, I heard that you went for your passing 80 driver's test and you didn't pass the test, that you failed it. Is that true?
Yeah. Since I lost my license, I have to depend on my kids for everything. Can't get to the store. Oh, boy. I'm always out of something. Bread, milk for my coffee. Sometimes I even forget to eat, unless my daughter calls to remind me. Imagine that, forgetting to eat lunch. My wife, she did all the cooking. She was a good cook. Now, well, if I want to eat, I gotta make it myself. Chef Boyardee, I am not. Yeah. Oh, I still get hungry, but it doesn't bother me as much anymore. Watching TV, good hockey game, takes my mind off of everything. My kids, oh, my kids. They say they'll take me shopping. Anytime you want that, anytime you want. Then they call at the last minute and cancel. That happened last week, and I missed my doctor's appointment. I was standing at the door with my coat and hat on waiting for them, and the phone rings. Cancel. Well, I don't want to be a burden. I know everybody's busy, and I don't want to be a burden. Hell, I've handled life's problems on my own 2 feet all my life, all by myself. Now, I worry. I worry about everything, like getting to the drugstore on time to get my pills. Of course, sometimes I forget to take my pills, even when I have them sitting right there on the table beside me.
Well, thank you, Marcel. It sure sounds like you're talking a little bit about some neglect by your children with some things that you need to have happen, like food and medication. Well, again, I'm thinking a magic wand might be really helpful. But I'm wondering, how can we be helpful to you as a group? Is there anything that we can do to be helpful?
Oh, I mean, I don't like to bother people. You know, if you know a cheap taxi service or something like that, my God, they take an arm and a leg now just to go downtown.
Quilters, have you got any thoughts for Marcel?
Well, I drive. I'd be glad to take you somewhere if you just give me a call.
Yeah.
Even
I
at
don't
last
want-
minute.
I don't
Try
want-
it at last minute.
You know,
You know, if you're ever stuck,
well,
I
thank
can
you.
drive you myself.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I was just gonna say the same thing, it's not a bother, just call up, you know.
Yeah.
If I can't, I
I'm-
won't tell you.
I miss the old days, you know, the coffee shop with the fellas
Oh,
and
you
the
don't
gang
have
and
your independence.
all that stuff, yeah.
Marcel, before you go, I might just mention also, I was telling Lois a little bit about the numbers on that poster.
Mhm.
And I know that you can call and they sometimes really hear what you're saying, not sometimes, all the time. And they come up with some solutions that might be helpful for you. Maybe Meals on Wheels would be something to consider.
Yeah, but peanut butter works.
I hear you. Thanks, Marcel.
Listening to all these stories, I need to share something here. I've been so worried about my mother. She's 92, and she's in a nursing home, and she has a lot of bruising on her arms, just like Lois. And every time I visit, she cries. And I don't know whether it's because somebody's hurting her, or if she wants me to take her home. I so wish I could. But I'm 75 and I'm not strong enough to help her. You know, I questioned a staff member about the bruising. And I was told that Mom was difficult and needed to be restrained or forcefully assisted. Forcefully assisted? Peculiar turn of phrase. Oh. I don't know. I just can't imagine that she's strong enough to cause a problem of any kind. This is supposed to be a good place. And I did check it out. And they have programs, they have physiotherapy, they have trivia games and baking and word games, and they have visiting performers, and I don't know, I just don't know. I was very glad when she moved up the waiting list so quickly, but now I'm afraid to ask any of the staff any questions because I'm afraid they're going to say she has to leave. Oh, I don't know, I just don't know. I heard a staff worker mumble under her breath that if I didn't like the care there, I could take her elsewhere. Where might that be? I wonder. I can't look after her.
Rose, wow. I'm just listening to your story, and it sure sounds like you've got some worries about your mom being abused by another resident in the nursing home.
Anybody.
Is there anything that we can do to be helpful?
It's nice that you heard me. I just don't know. It's so hard to get a nursing home spot, and you want your parents to be well looked after and loved and cared for when they're so frail.
I was telling Lois before about the numbers on the board from Elder Abuse Response Services and Victim Services. Might that be something that you would consider doing? Might you call to get some support from them?
I might, you know, because I just sit home and worry, and I feel so helpless when I'm not strong enough to do anything, and it's just a dilemma.
Right. Is there anything that your fellow quilters could do for you?
Oh, I just value their friendship so much. Just having them here is just, they're wonderful.
Thank you for sharing, Rose. Thank you.
There are so many stories of abuse out there. I guess I'm lucky. My son and my daughter-in-law let me live with them, and the only kind of abuse I suffered was in the van last year when we were going to Calgary. The kids took my picture. There I was, fast asleep, mouth open, head back, snoring away to beat the band. But we all had a good laugh over that, at my expense.
But how is that abuse?
They threatened to put it on Facebook.
Do you even know what Facebook is?
Well, I may not know much about Facebook, but I do know about teasing and nasty comments. I guess I'm lucky. My son and daughter-in-law let me live with them. I'm not too steady on my feet, and I get tired easily. I'm not much good at getting supper on the table or babysitting the kids. I have trouble opening things, and sometimes I can't even remember where I put things. I'm so absent-minded. Then they make jokes and nasty comments. But I'm right in the room. Don't they know I can hear them? Sometimes I even hear them telling their friends nasty stories about me. They say I'm smelly. I know I don't have a bath as often as I should, but I'm afraid of falling, and I have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub. Just joking, says my son. It may be true, but it's not a joke. And the grandkids, oh, they're so noisy. They bounce all over the furniture. They yell and they scream. I have a headache all the time. But sometimes they seem to sense that I'm feeling hurt, and they draw me a picture just for Nana, or they give me a hug, or they bring me a bouquet of dandelions. That does help a little sometimes. Sometimes I think I should take my hearing aids out, then maybe what I don't know wouldn't hurt me. Oh, am I kidding? I have to get out of that house just to find a little peace and quiet to get away from all the noise and the screaming and the nasty remarks. I gave them power of attorney 2 years ago when I was in hospital, but I think I can manage my own money so that I could just go somewhere where I could just be comfortable and live out my final years in peace and quiet. But how do I do that? Who do I talk to? Who?
Audience, I'm going to ask you. Who can Mary talk to? Got any thoughts? Mary, really, truly, thank you for sharing your story of emotional abuse. That's pretty tough to do.
Thanks. Maybe I'll when my family isn't at home, maybe I'll try calling. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing, Mary. Thanks for your help, too.
Getting old isn't easy, especially without your partner. After my husband died, I really found it difficult looking after the house and the yard, repairs, especially the lawn mowing and the snow shoveling. Those were really, really, really difficult. And I was just so excited one day when my niece came and said her husband would volunteer to do all that yard work for me. Oh, I was just ecstatic. And at first,
It was wonderful. Don't look at me, please, while I tell you this. Don't look at me. At first it was wonderful. And I looked out my window and it was such a pleasure. But then, after a while, he came to me and he said, maybe some type of payment was in order. Not money, he said. We could take it out in trade. And then he started doing things to me. Disgusting things. Hurtful things. Sinful things. And I'm so ashamed. I'm just so ashamed. My husband was the only man I've ever been with. And now I feel so dirty. And I feel so ashamed. And he said I couldn't tell anybody. He said if I told the police, they would just laugh at me. He said if I told anyone else, they would think, well, you know, why would a young man like him want sex with an old lady like her? He said if I told the family, they'd probably have me committed. I don't like looking out my window anymore.
Jean, thank you for sharing your story of sexual abuse. I think that's a pretty hard thing to do.
It was, yes, yes.
Julie was here earlier. I think Julie's gone, but she left us. Julie, are you still here? Julie, can I ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot for just a moment, but if you were talking to Jean, what would you say to Jean? What did you tell us to say before?
That I believe her, and that I'm very sorry that that's happening to her, and that there are other people who will believe her.
Thank you, thank you. And
Do you think, I'm just going to check in here with the quilters.
Well, we all believe her,
Oh,
sure.
yes,
Sure,
yes.
yeah, we believe her.
We share everything. I mean, of course we believe her. Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing, Jean. Thank you. Thank you, Julie.
This is really great. Sitting here, doing creative work, being with people who accept me for who I am. I still have my life's partner, Sarah, and we're still fighting for acceptance. We want to find a retirement home where we can be together. Well, the first administrator I spoke to, she says, well, I don't have any problem with your being a lesbian couple, but there are those in our retirement home who certainly would. So just don't say anything about it. Just pretend you're just friends. You know, just don't say, why do you have to advertise your sexuality anyway? Advertise our sexuality? We were married legally in 2005, for Pete's sake. Anybody who sees us together knows that we love each other. We have that same indefinable air that two people who are in love show when they are together. You can't put your finger on it, but you know it's there. So what are we supposed to do? We walk down the street down Pembroke Street, hand in hand. We hear snickers and gossip behind us. Just last week, our car was keyed. What are we supposed to do in order to find a place to live in Renfrew County? Should we go back in the closet? Should we can't just pretend anymore, that doesn't work. Maybe we have to move to California or something like that. It just doesn't work. We are like anyone else. We We have gifts that we can give to a retirement community. Sarah is a wonderful artist. I play the piano. We have talents and things that we can give to a retirement community. But here we are.
Experiencing homophobia.
Experiencing homophobia. Just wanting to be accepted for who we are.
Well, Joy, thank you for sharing your story.
So what do? Move to California?
Well, I've got a suitcase in the back cupboard.
All right.
Are you going?
I'm
Are we
going.
gonna let her go to California?
California, here I come.
Joy, I'm gonna ask you. What do you mean? What would be helpful?
What would be helpful for people just to just look at us like people? We're different. Oh yeah, we're different. But who isn't different? Some have blue eyes, some have brown eyes, some have one blue and one brown eye. Some people have curly hair, some have straight hair, some are black, some are white, some are yellow, some are white. We're different, okay. But we're people. And we love each other and we want to be together in a retirement home for our remaining years. That's what I want.
Well, maybe your quilters will help you.
Okay, quilters?
Pride March down Chadwick Street, summer 2013.
I could bring Sarah here.
Thanks,
Well,
Joy.
She's working.
Oh.
She's working.
Thank you.
What did somebody say one week, but we should, when we were talking about our troubles, that we could start our own home together, all of us.
That's right. That would be a good idea.
Marcel, I smell dinner on the stove.
I'm learning.
Don't want him cooking. Tom, how's it going with you?
Well, I'm broke, as usual. You know, this quilt is really starting to look pretty good. But I didn't know that there's a lot more than quilting goes on around the quilt. This is starting to sound like a group therapy session or something. Anyway, it turns out I've got something I should probably share too. When my wife died, I had a pretty rough time for a while. Then I had to go into the hospital for surgery. So during that period, I gave power of attorney to my son. And he and his wife used to pay my bills and look after my finances and stuff like that. I even signed over the house to them because there was a bunch of repairs and renovations that needed to be done before they moved in. You know, I've worked hard all my life. Always paid my own way, always with cash. I figured that's the way to keep your finances under control. But about 2 or 3 days ago, I went to the bank to make a withdrawal. I just wanted to buy some groceries and pay a few small bills, only to find out that my bank account had been wiped out. I was so embarrassed, and then I got really mad. I know who took the money. It was my son. He said he just needed a loan, just this one time. But this is not the first time it's happened. He likes to joke around and say that he's just spending his inheritance early. It's his money anyway. But it's no joke to me. Now my daughter, every time she comes over, she's always hinting that she needs a loan to buy a new microwave, or to send the grandchild to hockey school, or to make payments on the car. Well, I co-signed for that car when she bought it. So I guess I'm liable for the payments one way or the other. I just always feel so guilty when I want to say no. What a mess my life has become. I had faith in my son. I trusted him. And he broke that trust. I just don't know what to do anymore. I can't get a hold of my own money and use it the way I want to. So I just don't know what to do. I certainly don't want to call the police. I love my son in spite of the heartache. But I don't know what to do.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Audience, I'm gonna ask you, what kind of abuse is Tom experiencing? Financial abuse. Thank you for sharing about that. That's hard to do.
Yeah, you're welcome.
How can we be helpful?
Well, you know a good lawyer?
I do.
Well, do you want to do that? Do you want to do that?
I know that we've talked about the numbers. Sometimes people find that
Yeah.
really helpful because they don't know you, you don't know them, and they can listen and they can help you find what it is that you might want to do. I know that you've got some pretty good buddies here around the quilting table,
That's for sure.
and that might be a place to start to talk to them as well, to come up with some ideas about how you want to go ahead.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it really surprises me the number of ways that the elderly can be abused. It's just astounding, isn't it?
Oh,
Actually, I know a song about elder abuse. Would you like to hear it?
Would you like to hear it?
That's the trouble with getting old, you keep forgetting things.
I hear you, menopausal dementia.
And Marie has those moments. Yeah, I heard her on the show one day. Anne Marie said she had a senior's moment.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Anne Marie, yeah,
So,
right the show. She did.
At least I remembered the guitar. Now I hope I can remember the song.
We'll help you, Tom.
Oh, hey. we'll
And
give it a
it's in
shot here.
everybody's program if you want to sing along.
I may not be as able, I can be rather slow. My mind's not sharp, sometimes less clear than it was long ago. But I trust in you to help me cope. I need your helping hand, but please don't treat me badly. All I want is that you'll care. Don't leave me down here all alone. I can't get up those stairs. If you'll just stay with me a while, you'll answer all my prayers. don't pull my hair. Perhaps you think it doesn't hurt. Perhaps you just don't care. I'm growing old, I've aches and pains, and live with these I must. But the pain I find so hard to bear is the pain of broken trust. The pain that eats me up inside is the pain of broken trust.
In the cast to stand up, and if you could share with us, as your character, what gives you hope with elder abuse? No, stand up. That'd be good, son. I think Marcel's going.
You're gonna go ahead first, Mark.
Am I?
You're first.
The other time.
You're first.
Now I gotta think.
No.
What gives me hope is friendship with my companions and companionship. Without friends, we have nothing. I think I stole that from somebody else.
You did, Marcel, it was me.
What gives me hope is the fact that, in spite of it all, society's attitudes are changing. Some places they're changing pretty slowly, but society's attitudes towards the gay and lesbian and transgender community is changing, and that gives me hope.
I know. I'm looking for hope. I'm looking for more nursing homes and caring people that can work there, that can be patient and loving with everybody, and that the patients there can be patient and loving with each other. It's hard, but I have to just have faith that the world will get better.
That's why we should move in together.
Yeah.
What gives me hope is like Marcel stole from me, is friends, the companionship of my friends here. But not only that, I think that a lot of the senior centers that are around, I think they are very, very welcoming places, and they're important for seniors because so that they don't become isolated and they do have a place to go and make friends and meet people. So anyway, my hope is friends.
Well, I certainly agree about the importance and support that you get from friends. But the important thing is, I think we've learned that there are people who are listening, and there are now groups and organizations that are set up, like the numbers we've heard about, that we can call anonymously if we do need outside support apart from our friends.
What gives me hope is the number of people that I do meet day to day who are loving and kind and want our community to be a safer place for everyone. And I also have hope because I watched my own mother die very peacefully, surrounded by love and companionship in a nursing home where all her interests and cares were shown, and she was loved by all right to the end. And that gives me hope that all homes will strive to be that way for elders.
I guess what gives me the most hope is the fact that elder abuse is becoming, I think, well recognized in the last 2 or 3 years. You heard a lot more about it. People are now willing to talk about it when they didn't want to talk about it before. And I suspect that meetings like this are going to encourage that discussion and get more people aware of and thinking about elder abuse.
And what gives me hope is the fact that, look at us, look at us. There are so many of us who came tonight to care about all kinds of issues, and you folks have given me so much hope. To work with you in the last weeks has been, I think Bev can attest to that, it's been heartwarming for us, and I really appreciate all that you've done, and I celebrate you. That there's a gay agenda in the world. You've heard this, yes? So we had a gay agenda because everybody was color-coded, and now their thank you gifts are also color-coded.
We can get rid of this now.
You can have my color back anytime you want.
We even got the lads to wear their skirts.
Oh, yes.
I just want to say, too, before we break for the evening, that we started meeting in March, and we have done 3 shows that we called and asked for. We did one here at the Marguerite Center, we did one in Eganville, and now tonight. Do you know we already have 5 requests for the fall? I'm trying to coerce them. More than that, I also want to say that the numbers here have said to us that they're starting to get calls, referrals. And that to me is huge, right? Because it's raising awareness about where you might choose to get some support, right, in the community. So that's what it was really all about. So how cool is that? Okay, please.